Good morning, this is JHS Weekly. I'm Kennedy Derry.
And I'm Chance Bailey.
All right, let's go for our first story. For years, snow days meant you had a day off of school, but that has definitely changed this year.
JHS's Gia Jordan shows us how snow days are becoming fewer and working on school from home is becoming more common.
After a few days of snow and no school, students at Joplin High School are required to participate in an alternate methods of instruction, or AMI days. So what caused the change?
And once you reach that point of you've been past 9 snow days, you don't have to make up anything after 10. But then they realized, kind of in the midst of the pandemic, that in conjunction with the fact that virtual school became such an easily accessible venue to do, then that they came up with the idea of the alternative methods of instruction.
In this year's school calendar, 3 snow days were built in. After that, it's all AMI days.
We only get 36 hours of AMI, so that's like 4.5, 5 days of school. So the idea was if we get hit with like 9 days, we don't want to use them all right up front.
Freshman Elijah Chauncey says he doesn't mind the AMI days.
I personally find it a lot easier than going to school and doing them in school, because it's easier for me to just sit down and do them all in one go instead of having to do a couple assignments for one class, get up, move to the next class, and so on and so forth.
The teachers are also hard at work building assignments for the students to do while at home. Ryan Burnside teaches French, and he says he prefers in school days as opposed to AMI.
I think I prefer in school because I think my students learn better when I'm able to help them out directly or instruct directly in front of the class. But I do enjoy the AMI days as well. I'm fine with both.
No matter your preference, you've still got to do your assignments. Reporting for Judd HD, this is Gia Jordan.
Some classes you learn about fractions, and others you do experiments on mice.
Yeah, I actually visited a classroom where the mice are nice and students are having fun. How many mice can you fit in a classroom? Well, these mice were actually invited to help with an experiment. Dakota AG is a senior, and she says this is a science class that she soon won't forget. She says the experiment is a test of stress levels.
I have 48 mice, and I'm giving them CBD in varying amounts of CBD. And then one group gets no CBD, and then I am testing their cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, and I'll get that from their fecal matter, and to see if the CBD lowers their stress levels.
The experiment was her idea, and she says she picked it because she enjoys working with animals.
I really wanted to do something with animals because I like animals, and there's not a whole lot of information with CBD and veterinary medicine.
The project has been weeks in the making.
I've started planning the project since the beginning of the year, but I actually got the mice 3 weeks ago.
Carissa Boyer is a science teacher at Joplin High School and says it's important for the students to pick the experiments they want to do.
So as the science research teacher, students pick what they want to do. I oversee and make sure that they fall in line with the rules set by ISEF, which is the International Science and Engineering Fair.
Boyer says Dakota's future is bright.
It's working with mice. She's somebody that has the intentions of going on to vet school, and so she wanted to work with animals. That was her initial goal, and then she figured out a project to do with them.
They should find out in a few weeks what the results are. Hopefully the mice didn't mind the experiment too much because they seem pretty chill to me. Reporting for Jet HD, this is Chance Bailey.
A Joplin High School teacher is teaching an art that dates back hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and it involves a simple piece of paper.
Jet HD's Darren Zusiak shows us what it's like learning the way of the origami.
Dinosaurs may be extinct, but in Levi Butt's classroom, they're alive and well. He teaches Spanish at Joplin High School during the day, but started origami when he was a kid as a result of not being able to read well. When he was in middle school, he was looking at an origami book and started making his first paper crane.
While everyone else was reading the book, I started trying to follow those instructions, and it took me a little while to figure it out, but I figured out how to make a paper crane, and I really liked that, and then afterwards I just kept making those and learned how to make some different models.
Mr. Butts says when students get done early with their Spanish work, he shows them some Origami 101. Maddie Wilson, a junior at Joplin High School, also loves to do origami.
Honestly, my friend Aaron showed me how to make a butterfly with a Post-it, and so I showed Mr. Butts like one time how to do that, and he was like, oh my gosh, I did origami. Let me show you how to make a dinosaur. And that was like my first little introduction to it, I guess.
Anyone can do origami. All you have to do is focus, and if you get lost, like most things, there are YouTube tutorials to help.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is to pay attention to detail, because if you don't pay attention to detail, you're going to come out with something completely different than you wanted to come out with. So
If the diagrams don't make any sense to you and you want to make something, then look it up, and odds are there's a 7-minute video of a guy or a woman or a person, anybody making that model that you want to learn how to make. And if that video doesn't make any sense, there's probably 8 more that do the same models.
So if you need a new party trick, or just want some cool desk ornaments, check in with Mr. Butts. Reporting for JHD, this is Darren Zustiak.
Movie theaters are finally reopening, and that means Hollywood is producing movies around the clock.
And the next film you watch could be from a Joplin student. Kennedy actually takes us to the Franklin Tech film class to see how they are creating a short film.
Joplin students are getting a slight taste of Hollywood filmmaking. David Smith teaches the film class at Franklin Technology Center and talks about how this project got started.
I had my film class propose some ideas. Everybody came up with their own idea for a film, just a short synopsis of what their story would be about. We had them pitch those to us in class. We all read them and talked about them, and we came up with one.
A couple weeks were spent crunching the idea to make it perfect. So the million-dollar question is, what did they come up with?
It's actually more of a story about a friendship with a supernatural element to it. A young woman who is very alone. She's just lost her parents, but she loves to paint. She's a wonderful artist, and her whole life she's been painting a particular person. As she has grown from a little girl, this character has grown with her in her paintings. We find that this young girl that she's painted in the picture has come to life.
One of the life lessons taught in this class is teamwork, and a film doesn't happen without it.
If you watch the credits of any film, even if it's a film, there are a lot of people that work on a film. We're limited by the number of students that we have, so everybody has to wear a lot of different hats. Everything that we're doing from scratch. So it is quite a massive undertaking, and it's going to take quite a bit of work to get it done.
Not many students have the opportunity in high school to take a film class. Some would have to travel away and take it in college. This class offers a Hollywood experience, but in Joplin.
This is a full story from start to finish, a short film, where we actually work with every student to make them a part of a film crew, like they would actually be if they were working on a Hollywood film or if they were working on an independent film. All of the things that come together to be on a movie set and a movie crew, we're putting them in there. So they will have actual real-world hands-on experience in making a film.
The JHS film class will be working on this short film for the next couple months, so stay tuned for a release date. Reporting for JHD, this is Kennedy Dury. And that has been JHS Weekly.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.